Hey guys, it's that guy with the picks. It is Saturday early morning. Last night, we gave Utah minus the points. And I handicapped that game absolutely beautiful. And we all know what Utah did. They won and covered. And then I came back and I gave you a college basketball game that I absolutely loved. And that was Cornell giving 7.5 points. And Cornell won and covered. I told you we were going to pick up more house money to play with on the weekend. And I sure hope that's exactly what you guys did. Because I got some games today. The first game we're going to look at, we're going to go to a championship game in college football today. And if you watch most of my content, I tend to shy away from the bigger games that are shown on TV. Now I got my own theory behind that, but this week I can't hide behind no rock and find a chili dipper team that I can just play on, because that's not going to happen this week. This week, I mean, if we're going to do it, why not do it big? So I handicapped what I think is the biggest game on the board today, and that's Georgia coming in at 12-0, playing at a neutral site against Alabama at 11-1. Now, pretty interesting here. The line opened up at 4, and it sits at 6.5. Now, I know what most bettors would do. I'll tell you what they would do. They see a line move like that, they jump. They jump. And they jump because the theory is someone has some information about this game for it to move 2.5 points. And typically that's what the case is. Now this total opened up at 51 and it's down to 49.5. Like I said, this is the SEC championship. Georgia is as close as possible already in the playoffs. And Alabama is trying to get a win and get back in. And we know by the play this year, this ain't your typical Alabama team. Don't get me wrong. They could come out as world beaters and play their best game all year and get the W. But by looking at track record and just like, what have you done for me lately? You're only as good as your last game. They did play Auburn last week, and they did get the W in that game. And to be honest with you, if you watch that game like I watched that game, if the Auburn running back if he stays in bounds and just puts his knee on the ground instead of running out of bounds, Alabama doesn't have a shot to win that game. But what's he do? He runs out of bounds, stops the clock, and gives Alabama an additional 40 seconds to take it to overtime, and then another overtime, then another overtime, then another overtime, where eventually Auburn lost and Alabama won. And Alabama looked like a dead duck in the pond the whole day long. I'm talking about 0 points at halftime. They were under 100 yards of total offense. They were getting completely demolished. The score didn't so much show that, because Alabama's defense did hold up pretty good, but Alabama's offense was non-existent. And then out of the blue, somewhere, something happens. The college football gods come down and they get on Alabama's line. They get in the quarterback's head. They get in the quarterback's arm. They get in the running back's legs. And somehow they pull out a great win. I mean, I can't say it no different than that. They pulled out a great win in multiple overtimes. Not to mention too, like that wasn't Alabama's only close win on the year. They had close wins against LSU. They had close win against Arkansas. Bryce Young, probably still leader in Heisman. Last week, he got sacked 7 times. 7 times last week. And there is absolutely zero comparison between Auburn's front 7 and Georgia's front 7. No comparison at all. Georgia they had one close game this year, and that was all the way back in week 1 versus Georgia. That was their only close game. They won that game 10-3. Every other win has been by at least one by 17 points, and everything else was 20 or more. Georgia has only given up. Now listen, this is a real number when I'm about to say this. Let me hit this vape first. This is a real number and a real stat that I'm about to tell you guys, and this should put you in your seat and just think about this for a minute. If you're a true sports guy, this next number is going to be a little baffling. Now we know Georgia's defense is unreal. One of the best defensive seasons college football has ever seen. Georgia has given up a total of 82 points all year long. I just want to say it again. Georgia has given up 82 points all year long. Total. Crazy. They hold opponents, and this one should poltergeist. This one should have your head spinning too. They hold opponents to 6.9 points a game. I want to say that one again too. Georgia hold opponents to 6.9 points a game. Nuts. Georgia leads the country in holding opponents to just 3.5 yards a play. Now, Alabama is prone to giving up rushing yards, like last week versus Auburn, also against Florida, also against Arkansas. And I see Georgia following that to a T, just on a wider margin. The Bulldogs are 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 in December. They're 4-1 against the spread versus teams with a winning record. They're 11-4 against the spread in their last 15 neutral site games. Alabama is 11-3 against the spread in their last 14 after an ATS loss. Alabama last game, they went 8 for 26 on 3rd and 4th downs. They had 11 penalties. Alabama has scored 23 or fewer points in 2 out of their last 3. I can see how Alabama. I can't see how Alabama can keep up with this Georgia team. A Georgia team that don't turn the ball over, very, very limited in penalties. They take very good care of the ball. They don't put themselves in bad positions in the game. They're an overall number 1 team in the nation. And I know we're expecting a great game today out of this SEC championship, and we should. But I'm here to tell you that's not what we're going to get. It's not. Yes, it's the SEC championship. But to Georgia, honestly, this is just another game to win. and to flex their muscle a little bit and show their dominance. Yes, the SEC trophy is going to be beautiful. That is not what their vision is on. Their vision is on winning the national championship, and this is just another step that they have to take. And believe me, they're going to take a big step in this game. I think this win will just fall in line with all the rest, as Georgia looks like a super team. And if Alabama plays as good as they possibly can, they will only lose this game by 7 points. Yes, that's what I said. If they play the best game that they can possibly play, they will only lose this game by 7 points. But I don't see that. I don't. I see Georgia easily covering the spread and pulling away and getting a double-digit win, somewhere in the double digits. So today, obviously, the pick in our college football is take Georgia minus the points. Guys, we are going to build on the last 10 days that we've had. We have been very, very hot. We're about to tear this up over the weekend. You guys are going to make a nice amount of money today. We're going to flip it again tomorrow. Then we're going to do it, and then we're going to do it again. Guys, I just want to thank you for all the love, support, the subscribes, the shares, the likes, the comments. I just ask that you please continue to do that and share this content with as many people as you can, and I will continue to bring you winners at a very, very high percentage. And guys, you already know what I'm going to do until I get back to you. I'm going to get back to getting this cash.